My name is Martin Blaine. I'm Managing Director of Pearson Communications. So I'd like to welcome you all here to the Storehouse for our seminar today on internet marketing, and hopefully with the range of speakers that we have here today that you'll find something of use and of benefit to you throughout the day. I'll go through a few of the more domestics to keep everybody right about toilets and exits and things like that. The toilets are round to the right, and you just follow the corridor. The toilets are just on the left if you go out the door and round to the right. Fire exits are clearly signposted. There's one down to the left and there's one up to the right as well, close to the toilets. You've got a notepad on your seat where you've got the running order of today's speakers and what everyone's going to be talking about. You've also got a little leaflet, a card. If you want to fill that in, you get an opportunity later on to win an iPad. Unfortunately, there's only one. It's not the 8 show. So we'll do a draw later on today, and someone will be lucky enough to get an iPad. I think that's, in terms of domestics, that's everything. Yeah, okay. I have a wee video just to show you a little promotional video about Pearson Communications, give you a feel for what we do, and considering the time of the year, Halloween, etc., we've put this together just to scare the children. Today is all about marketing ultimately, and marketing is all about engaging with an audience, be it an audience that you want to sell to, or you want to get to donate, or to enroll in course colleges if you're in further education or whatever. And really, I suppose for us, traditional marketing and the traditional type of activities that we provide for people are all about pushing and pulling people and their to and at an audience, and they tend to be time bound in terms of campaigns over a particular period of time. Whereas online, the nature and level of marketing has changed completely. It's more, the nature of it tends to be that you want to engage with people, you want to build their trust, you want to also speak to them in a consistent way, you want to inform them, and you need to engage people continuously. And when you consider the nature and balance, or the nature and level of marketing, be it the traditional type of marketing, which is to or at people, versus the online marketing, which is more about building trust and engaging with people and providing them with information to be able to make their own decisions, I think it's quite clear that the balance of power has very clearly changed online when it comes to making the decision about what people want to do. And I think that's key to today, actually. There was a very interesting piece of research published earlier this year that indicated that in the 3-month period up to April of this year, 80% of people went online to gather information before they decided to make a decision about what they wanted to purchase. So where does that leave traditional advertising? I think that's a big question. If ultimately people will go straight to the horse's mouth, if you like, in the internet to find out what people are really saying about what your product or what your service is that you offer. So the balance of power has completely shifted to one where the consumer or that individual sitting with their PC or their Mac is able to find out whatever they need and go beyond what has been the traditional marketing message that people have been putting out there. And really for us, what that means is that online you need to build trust. You need to capture an audience. You have to do that by listening to them and providing them with information to allow them to actually make their decisions. And today's speakers are all about how you capture people, how you provide them with the information, how you engage with them and how over a period of time you build their trust and you build a relationship with them. And be it some of the speakers that we have here are specialists more in social media, we've search specialists, we've got copy specialists, and we've got a few people here that will demonstrate how they have managed to do what they've done online. So if you like, there's the theoretical side to internet marketing, but then there's the practical examples of how people have managed to do it successfully online. But what I'm going to do is hand you over to our first expert, if you like, Jamie Steele, who'll talk to you principally about social media.
Okay.
Okay, Jamie?
Thanks for doing my presentation for me there, Martin. That was great. So I'm Jamie Steele, and I work with Pierce Communications Group here on the social media side, really showing businesses how to use these new digital platforms to market themselves. I've been in business for probably about 15 years, and my first business was a financial business that Alan knows about down the back there. And a couple of things that I've got to know through business is that good businesses are built primarily on trust. Trust no matter what industry you're in, whether it's financial, whether it's giving good advice, whether it's having good products, good customer service, it all is geared around trust. And the other thing it's geared around is relationships. Good business is all about having great relationships. And how do you have great relationships in normal life? It's by going out networking with people, having great customer service with them, telling them what they need to know on a timely basis, and generally being a nice person. So it's no different on the online world than it is in the offline world. If we look at a history of social media, we can see that at the top right we've got little old grannies gathering, talking, discussing outside while they're knitting. We've got saloon bars where people would meet to discuss ideas. And we've got things like the Tupperware party, which incidentally is one of the first viral marketing campaigns there ever was the Tupperware parties. But women gathered around a certain topic and discussed things. And it's absolutely no different to online. So before the internet, we used to gather in these different locations to share our passions. People gathered in work around the water cooler, talked about their passions. The early internet included things like message boards and chat rooms, and where I have an advantage on the sort of social media geeky side, that I've been a sort of a computer nerd since computers really first came out. And we used to go on these online message boards and share information about either different computer games, about different things that were happening. And then these built into chat rooms where you could go and meet people online and talk to them and actually make friends online, which, looking back on it, people used to think was really sad and geeky, but now it's what people are doing to build their businesses around. So now social media, we've got three things. We've got paid social media, which is internet advertising, which is, for example, taking banner ads on various websites, whether it's advertising on Facebook ads, on LinkedIn, or in any of those channels, paying for your ad, either paying per page impression or paying for a click through. And Richard, I think, is going to talk a bit more about that when he talks about internet marketing. The pay-per-click obviously is the search marketing, so you've got your pay-per-click ads when you're searching for something on Google. Mobile advertising is coming quite strong now, and that's something that's happening more and more. If you're getting free applications on your mobiles, you quite often see there's an advert along the bottom of them. Mobile advertising on SMS messages, that sort of stuff. Sponsorship of sites. And then you've got paid applications where people will actually buy your application from you. The earned social media, which is the bit really we're interested in here today, is by creating a presence online. And one of the great things about having a presence online means you're visible. And if one of the ways Google has changed the way it works from May was that the more places your brand is visible online, the higher up the search engine rankings you'll go. So what you need to do is try and get on as many of these platforms as you can, with the caveat that if you're going to go online and have a presence there, make sure you make it A, something good and interesting, and B, that you maintain it. Because if people are finding your Facebook site online, your LinkedIn profile online, and it doesn't match into the marketing you're doing offline, or doesn't mimic your company brand, it can be detrimental to you. And also, if you're going to go on a lot of platforms, it's about it's opening up people to talk about you online. So you really have to go on and manage it. So there's quite a bit of work in it. A lot of people think social media is this great new free tool, but in essence, it's almost like networking that we used to do offline in business clubs, but it happens online and in a lot of different forums. So you've got to be there in person to meet these people, to virtually almost shake their hands, as it were. User forums, again, depending on your business or your product or what area you're in, user forums can be a great way to almost boost your brand equity. For example, if you have let's think if we have a finance company and there's a user forum talking about finance and different ways to invest money or save tax. If you, the expert, can go on there and answer people's questions, you're just building up that trust in yourself. And people online buy on trust and relationship. And by answering people's questions online in user forums, you're really building that trust up in yourself. And it's bizarre online because people will trust people with numbers beside their names. So on user forums, you know, the top guy, for example, has 21,000 posts. He's answered 21,000 different people's answers. So immediately he's the guy you're going to go to if you need to buy his service, because he's trusted and he's visible and he's online. So user forums are a great way to show your expertise, and it doesn't have to be specific user forums. You can go onto things that we're going to go onto in a while, such as LinkedIn Answers or LinkedIn Groups. But LinkedIn Answers is a great way where people are just going out asking for information, and it's all split into any different industry category you can think of, and then subdivided down into specifics in those industry categories. And people will go on there and just ask questions, and people will want to answer them to build up their credibility online. So, for example, Jamie's answered 15 questions on social media today. Someone needs help with social media, they come to me, not someone who hasn't answered questions. So there's a bit of time involvement in it. News and PR. You know, Mike's a copywriter, and he's going to talk about writing on the web, but still news articles, PR articles, announcement, they're things you're giving out to people for free, whether it's news about your company, news about the industry you work in, PR about events you're doing, charity events you're doing, your CSR, PR about new products you're launching, an announcement about what's happening in your company. Blogger relationships is another key one. If you have an internet presence and you're producing good material, say you're writing a blog or you've got something of interest, if you can create good relationships with people who run blogs online that get a lot of traffic to their blogs, and they start talking about you online, it's a very powerful way of boosting your site up the rankings and getting more eyes onto your website so people can see what you're doing. And then we've got the owned media, which is your brand online, and your product or company websites that you've paid to have built, which I always say should be the hub of your internet activity, your website. It's to have a good solid website that everything else runs off the back of.